Cheese.
Yes.
Derek is calling me. Help him out.
I just sent him a text.
All right. It is 1:00 wherever you are in the world. We're so glad you're joining Senior Talk with Clara Hubbard. Everyone, I am very excited for this show. Let me tell you, it is a great time in the world. We are very excited to be a part of your day. And I am very excited for the guests that are joining me. My brother, Mr. DeJuan Porter. We are all alumnus of Southern University, that alumni system. Let me tell you, and we're very excited. And let me tell you, this program is really dedicated to alumni as well as those who are currently on campus. You know, the alumni, the HBCU experience, we all got a story. And we're going to share a little bit of that with you. But I do also greet you in the spirit of we're living through a pandemic as we speak. As we speak, we are living through a pandemic. And so I spoke to DeJuan. We always have communication. He's one of our loyal viewers, as well as listeners to Senior Talk for the last 9+ years. And I just said, hey, we need to take a break, and we need to bring the visibility of the HBCU experience through this pandemic. Now, if we can raise our hands, I know I lived through a couple of hurricanes on the campus. You know, Hurricane Andrew, and it was not a pretty thing. So we lived through those pandemics as well, if that's what it is. But we have an experience where we can still come together. I'm currently in Indianapolis. DeJuan Porter, he's in Illinois, and Laquita Thomas is joining us. We're waiting on our brother Derek Warren, so everybody can come together, and we want to share this experience with you. So we're going to take a break, not too long of a break, but I just want to put something on our minds to bring us back to our beautiful time at our alumnus. Let's check this out, y'all. All right. What a memory. Was you shocked?
Love it.
Love it.
Brings you right back on the campus. I'm telling you, brings you right back on the campus.
And Clark Activity Center.
Yeah, that had to have been what, last fall?
Something like that. I found it on YouTube and was able to add it to this broadcast. But let me tell you. All right. Not the president, my friend. We have everyone on with us today. So everyone, this is another, as I mentioned, another broadcast that you can find on Facebook Live as well as on YouTube on Senior Talk with Clara Hubbard pages. We're also going to take this and play it on our sister station on Sunday, WOSDradio.com. So at 10 o'clock Central Time, tell Alexa, play WOSD Radio, and this will replay for our community. Well, joining us today are alumnus of Southern University System. I'm very happy. So I'm going to have Dewan be our co-host because he spearheaded this conversation and he keeps me in communication about what is happening on the yard, as I would say. So, Mr. Dewan Porter, welcome to Senior Talk. You'll be our co-host today. Introduce our special guest, if you would, please.
Absolutely, Claire. Appreciate it. Thank you for having us today. And again, thank you for keeping in touch with us and the Chicago chapter of the Southern University Alumni Federation. But our special guest today is our national president of the Southern University Alumni Federation, the first female president of the National Alumni Federation, Ms. Laquita Thomas, who also is a classmate of mine.
Hello.
A class of 93. Yes, and we have the executive director, the illustrious executive director of the Southern University Alumni Federation, Dr. Derek Warren, on the call with us today. And they're going to provide us with some updates and some things that's going on campus and how what we're doing as Alumni Federation and helping our kids out during these turbulent times.
All right, fantastic. So let's do this. We want to first thank our president for joining us. If you would, introduce yourself, your quick 2-minute bio experience of the SU experience, and what it is to be a Madam President at this time. This is a woman, so go and break that down for us.
Yeah, the future is female, right? So thank you so much, Clara, for having us. Alumna Clara, we're delighted to be here. And as Dewan mentioned, I am the 19th national president for the Southern University Alumni Federation, first female. And that comes with a lot of different dynamics, as you can only imagine. But I'm thankful to be serving during this time. It's very, very different. As you mentioned, it's been a challenge, right? You know, with the pandemic, it's definitely created us to have to think out of the box around how we fundraise, how we engage, and how we keep everyone together. And so I think that overall, we've been doing that since March, early March. Thankfully, we got through Mardi Gras season and we could hit all the balls and the galas and all of those things, but it did put a damper on crawfish season, right? So, you know, we're all about an outdoor event during the spring and bringing in much needed dollars. Like I tell folks, we don't boil crawfish for nothing because we have nothing else to do all day. We do this for the students. We're all about what we can do to enhance their experience based on the experience, of course, that we had when we were on the yard. So I'm a 1993 graduate. If I had wanted to say that I was a 2000 graduate, Dewan had already put my business out in the street. That's the problem of folk knowing you, right? So,
right.
Yeah, but no, proud graduate. 1993, I'm a STEM girl, graduated in math and computer science, live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, work for Texas Instruments, and have been there for almost 27 years. So been in this alumni game for a minute, started immediately as soon as I graduated. As a matter of fact, got active with the Dallas chapter. They tricked me, and I guess I've been here ever since. So delighted to be here with you all today.
Well, let me say it is such a blessing. And I'm very excited because I tell people if any child, specifically African-American children, have an opportunity to go away to an HBCU, it's going to be life-changing. My father, he cried. We drove in my Hyundai. We packed up what we had. The what you call it, the ironing board was at the
oh Lord.
But we rolled, and when I got to that campus, I almost felt like immediately I was at home. You know, the camaraderie, the activities that were going on. But now we're facing something. I'm not going to get into that. Let me rewind. I want to introduce, if you would, at this time, Dr. Derek Warren. How are you this beautiful day?
I'm doing wonderful, alumna Clara Hubbard,
all right.
The phenom, the icon,
Heavyweight,
the superwoman.
We're working on it, but I'll take that blessing in advance. So let's catch up. As our president was saying that her experiences were life-changing and brought her into an illustrious career. So tell us about Dr. Derek Warren and your experience, but then we're going to get into this real pandemic piece because I got some information that I've been seeing on the news. And I think what's really upsetting to me is that our HBCs are not being featured. They still in institutions too, you know? And so all the other white schools are getting the recognition and getting this is that, but I don't want to get into that right now. I was finna go on my soapbox. Let me pull myself together. So, if you would, Dr. Warren, share with you your Southern University experience, because you've been riding this alumni train for quite a while and being visible to our community. So, talk about that if you would.
Well, thank you so much, Clara. First, let me say thank you to you and President Porter and President Thomas, and to the mighty Southern University nation of alums, students, parents, and everyone who makes up, administrators, faculty, who makes up our wonderful family. I think you probably said it earlier, there is no place like an HBCU, and there is no experience like an HBCU experience. I'm an 82 graduate of the Southern University system in computer science. I spent 32 years with IBM immediately following college, had plenty of job offers, and chose to go with Big Blue and spent 32 illustrious years there and had some wonderful, wonderful experiences, which were all due in part to the fantastic academic foundation that was established at the Southern University. While I was at Southern, I was STA president, in the Human Jukebox, a member of the distinguished Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity, Kappa Kappa Psi honorary band fraternity, and I lived my best life when I was in college. And, I'm a country boy from a small town in North Louisiana, Bastrop, Louisiana, Morehouse Parish. But when I came to Southern, it was like, wow, just blew my mind. Yeah. And I would say I'm a product of HBCU graduates. My parents are Grambling alums. And that's why I love all things HBCU, because of that foundation that my parents and my aunts, uncles, and cousins, we have a rich foundation. And even my grandparents, I'll say, had a great foundation at the HBCU. So now I am back at Southern. It's a labor of love for me as Director of Alumni Affairs and the Executive Director of our Alumni Federation. And we've been doing just some powerful things here at Southern University with our Ag Center, with our Sciences and Engineering departments, with our College of Business, and of course, as you mentioned already, with our arts and mass communication areas. They've established a foundation where our alums are all over, not just the country, but all over the world. I've met distinguished alums that have established themselves in business and in the medical fields and just all over. So let me say again, Clara, that it is a pleasure to be here with you. Probably one of the greatest things that Southern University did for me, it was that Southern introduced me to my lovely wife. Now, it's nothing like a Southern girl, they say. Now, listen, that introduced me to my wife of now 30 plus years. I'll say that since I don't want to give too much away. But we met here in college as freshmen, became friends first, and then the rest is history. 3 kids and 1 grandchild. And I have a son now here at Southern University who's a senior in computer science. So to say I'm thankful for Southern is an understatement.
Absolutely. Well, let's do this. Your son, what is his experience like on that?
Well, I would tell you,
pandemic right now. I mean, I know there's what has his experience been like on the campus during this pandemic? That is the question I'm asking.
Well, he transferred actually to Southern from Morehouse, and his first semester, even though he came as a senior, his first semester was in January earlier this year. So he had an opportunity to experience the on-campus life for a short period of time, and then immediately transitioned to a hybrid experience. And so far, he's had a great time. He loves Southern. He loves his professors. And from what I'm hearing, they love him as well. And I try to tell him, don't try to leverage your dad. Now you got to make it on your own, which he's done. I just left him probably about an hour ago, and he had said, well, Dad, I got 4 exams. I got to finish these before Friday. But from what he's shared with me is that the instructors have not missed a beat, and they still hold them accountable. And if they have issues, they've established office hours, virtual office hours, and more to help ensure that they have a good experience and that they succeed. So I'm thankful for that and very proud that he's following in my footsteps as a computer science major.
Absolutely. So, Mr. DeJuan Porter, loyal listener of Senior Talk for the last 9+ years, whether I'm on radio, podcast, newsletter. There's always a comment every communication from Mr. DeJuan Porter, the good, bad, and the we need to change this to make it better. I receive that. So let's talk about where you sit through this Southern University system. You represent Chicago, the great city of Kankakee. And what has been the experience like? We came on alert initially because there were some students who were told maybe don't go home through this pandemic. So let's talk. What do you want to bring to our attention, DeJuan, at this time?
Yeah, that's a great segue, Claire. Obviously, this semester for Chicago students who we serve here with the Chicago chapter, alumni chapter, have had probably everything that could possibly happen to them this semester on campus happen to them. From the three or four hurricanes that touched base in South Louisiana, to the pandemic, going from in-classroom learning to virtual learning immediately. Some kids, unfortunately, testing positive from the Chicagoland area, as well as the cancellation of fall sports, no activities on campus. So some of our incoming freshmen, this was their first experience on campus, was created some anxiety and created some issues that they had to face, some social issues that they had to confront and deal with. So what we've done, or what we tried to do with the Chicago chapter, and all the other chapters have done an excellent job as well, was meet students where they're at on campus with some of the problems that they're facing. Not only let them know about the resources they have available on campus, as well as the resources they have here back at home with alumni. From the very last chapter meeting we had alumni that's willing to step up, mentor these kids, and give them money, give them resources, make sure they have all the proper PPE, all the proper resources so they can complete the semester and go back in January to continue their studies on our alma mater's campus. So a lot of again, it's just, as a young student, we have to think back to when we were students, how we handle certain situations. And sometimes our kids aren't prepared as much to handle, and who could have been prepared to handle 3 hurricanes and a pandemic and no homecoming this year? I mean, there's really no preparation you could have done to do that. So what we just tried to do in this alumni chapter here is just support the kids, meet them, see where they're at, meet them where they're at, and try to help guide them to a better and brighter future. And that's the mission of our chapters. That's the mission of the Alumni Federation, to recruit, support, retain those students, and help them matriculate and graduate so they can come back to their respective home areas and help recruit those next students to attend our alma mater. So that's always been our mission, Claire, and I know President Thomas and Dr. Warren can agree with that. And I think what is required of us this semester has been just to step our game up a little bit more and continue to push hard and help those kids where they're at.
Absolutely. And this is a pivotal time because we know this time last year, we were all getting ready for the Bayou Classic.
Stop your talking.
What we gonna do? I mean, what we gonna do?
Hey.
The Bayou Classic was like a homecoming. It was a reunion. It was a recruitment. It was the biggest HBCU family reunion across the country.
Absolutely.
What we gonna do, Derek?
You know what? We're going to have a whole lot of memories. I'm teeing up some of those different YouTube videos, going through pictures and photos. It's going to be different. I can't recall a Thanksgiving, honestly, when there was no Bayou Classic. Even when I lived abroad, I still experienced the Bayou Classic because it was on television.
That's right.
So I'm not sure what I'm going to do right now, but we're just going to pray and be thankful still and look forward to the spring. as well.
Yeah, and Derek's giving you the textbook answer. Y'all need to probably call and check on me between the day Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, because it's not going to be good for me. I'm just telling you honestly. I haven't missed a Bayou Classic since probably 1999, 98, somewhere in there. It's not going to be good.
So I was just asking myself, I know when I was in school at Southern, I would tell my family, y'all have to come down here for Thanksgiving, because Friday morning I'm on my way. Forget the Black Friday shopping. I need to check into my hotel, wait in line, see people. So it's gonna be one, and I just really feel it's unfortunate for our youth to not have at least this experience. I mean, it's not going to be forever. There will be some resolution down the line, but right now, we all need a little more extra love and support. So from where you sit, Miss Thomas, what can we as HBCU alumni do to help support the efforts of where you are? I know Dewan is talking about he represents Chicago, but what can we do? There are many of us who are professionals. I knew this was my outlet through other mediums that I could offer to just put the physical mission out there that, yes, we must support. But what would you offer us or what would you challenge us to do? I mean, Giving Tuesday is coming up. Maybe we can do something for our universities. That's the giving thing. So what are your thoughts on that?
Right. So there are many opportunities, right? Because folks are a little bit more stationary. I think we're moving a little bit more than we were when this pandemic first hit. But with the numbers spiking again, there's an opportunity to kind of catch folks where they are sitting still, going into the holiday season. And we're thinking a little bit more, around the philanthropy of things. And so as alums for Southern University, we need engagement. We need involvement. We need to get alums to the table. That means we need you guys to please get active, pay your membership dues. Right now we're living in a very precarious time where everything Black matters, right? You got your sign up behind you that says senior votes matter, but Black lives have been mattering. They were mattering before George Floyd, and everything that's happened since that time. We have a lot more focus from industries and companies that are saying, hey, we're trying to engage more with HBCU. So what does that mean? It means that we need to be ready for the engagement. We need to be ready to sit at the table. All of the work that we've done up to this point, and we've been baking in the oven. Now it's time to open the oven and see, are we really done? Are we really ready to sit down with an IBM or sit down with the Hewlett Packard or sit down with, any company, my company, Texas Instruments, whatever it is. So where we have those alums plugged in, we need to take advantage of that. We need to be at the table to talk about what our students have to offer so that we can get those internships, so that we can get those, full-time opportunities as well. But even bigger than that, we need to be present. Alumni, we need you guys to hop on these Zoom meetings while you can do it conveniently from your home and be a part of your chapter's meeting. Please pay your dues because it helps us to stay afloat and take care of the operation, the sustainable activities that we have as a national organization. We've got goals and metrics that we're trying to achieve. And so while all these things are mattering and HBCUs matter, HBCU alumni matter as well.
Absolutely.
And so with that being said, we need the mentors. We need to check in on our students because this is not a time that they've ever lived in. We're not right ourselves, right? So we can't even imagine what they're dealing with. You've already mentioned no homecoming, no this, no that. I mean, our poor little Miss Southern on our Baton Rouge campus got up and was so emotional, at her coronation. She was like, I just didn't even know if we were going to be able to pull it off, but it was gorgeous. It was beautiful. All of our queens were celebrated. So we've got to also identify those small successes and those efforts that we can put in that really will have an impact on our students. Commencement will be outside this year for the first time in many, many moons. And the students wanted to have an in-person commencement. So we're going to attempt that on December the 11th in A.W. Mumford Stadium. We want to make that a wonderful experience and those memories that are going to last. You were part of a pandemic class, but we did all that we could do to really pull it together to make it memorable for our students. So we need to be present. We need to come to the table. We need to be ready when those discussions present themselves to us, to show what we know, to show what we do, to showcase our students.
Absolutely. And, I think with we now going into a new inauguration year coming up, mm-hmm. I think as there is already a plan for the Black agenda from our new incoming president, I think as HBCUs, we should have something on the agenda for education.
Yes. We
need a platform. Now we can get together collectively because there are over 20 more schools, but we need to have at least 5 top things that we could unitely get together on. And so I'm putting that out there for DeJuan. You can kick it off and get with the president and Dr. Warren. We need to. I mean, I'm loud. And I will find, I got as close to the White House as I could through someone that I knew. But the whole point is, if this is the United States, we are part of it too.
Right. And
so HBCUs produce and bring and graduate and have as many success stories as many other institutions. Mm-hmm. So we should have a platform. If it comes around to us, then we should be able to have a platform. Our illustrious vice president elect, she's from an HBCU. So I'm just going to put that out there. Whoever's watching somewhere in the world, call me. I'm serious, because we need to have our agenda. This is something that we can put in place for our students who are looking at us.
Right.
This could be a platform that they can have. So I just want to make that mention. We do have a new incoming president-elect as well as vice president who is an HBCU alumni. Mm-hmm. And so there should be some things that we suggest, and we should be able to come to the table too when the education, etc., comes in place. Ms. Thomas, you should be at the table.
And I want to be at the table.
That's right. We're going to plan that table.
Listen, if the table knocks, I'm opening up the door. Hello, table. Let's talk. No, absolutely. I totally agree with you. And I think there's some level of excitement for us as HBCU alums because we have Vice President-elect Harris, and because of her background, yes. Being a Howard alum, I have to just say, I'm expecting some big things there. I really am. I really am.
And like they say, if the table is crowded, bring your own chair.
Right.
That's what Shirley Chisholm say. Hey,
you got that right.
If your table is crowded, bring my own chair.
That's
so
right.
We're gonna have to recap and do this in December. Maybe we have a monthly session where we get together and bring other alumni from other cities onto this. This could be a standard we can put in place for our school, as well as for many other HBCUs who need to just look at each other, say hello, what you doing? That's what we've done. So Dr. Warren, give us your closing remarks, because we're going to be ending soon and we're going to recap again, but give us your closing remarks if you would at this time.
Well, thank you again, Clara. This is great. I will say this, 3 things. T3, time, talent, treasure. Time, talent, treasure. There is something you can do. You can do at least one of those 3 things, and many of us can do all 3 of those T's. And we just encourage alums to support our alums to support the Southern University system. We encourage alums of other HBCUs to support their respective HBCUs and others, because we're all one family. I mean, if one doesn't go well, all of us are impacted by that. So let's support each other through this pandemic period. We will survive. We survived hundreds of years of things that were even worse than this. I know we can overcome. We have congressmen and women who are HBCU alums as well, who are big supporters. Shout out to Congresswoman Alma Adams out of North Carolina, who is a big HBCU supporter. We have Cedric Richardson, who's a Louisiana native and a great supporter. We'll be doing something big in the Biden cabinet.
Right.
We have power that we need to use. And as Clara is saying right here and right now, let's make sure we're at the table, and that we stay at the table, and that we eat and enjoy and share and pay it forward.
Absolutely. And Mr. DeJuan Porter, you have our closing statement, sir.
Well, I think enough has been said already. Ms. Clara Hubbard, again, thank you for the invite. I definitely want to give a special thanks to Madam President, my classmate, Miss Laquita Thomas, and a good friend, I can almost say a homeboy, Dr. Derek Warren. He's from North Louisiana. My family's from Southwest Arkansas, so there's about maybe 80 miles difference between us. But
up the street and around the corner, huh? Up the street
yeah, a country block. Yeah,
right.
yeah. So thank you all for coming out today. Claire, thank you. We're definitely going to get this plan together, and we're definitely going to hard to continue to support our kids, HBCUs, and continue to show the world that HBCUs matter, Black matter, all that matters is matters.
So I'm going to cut him short. I think he may come back on, but let me say this. I want to send a special shout out to those who are chiming in on Facebook Live, to my sister, the guru, Miss Sybil Holloway of Kids Breakfast Club, a huge, massive HBCU supporter. She's from Texas Southern. Thank you for being a part of our show today. And to Sonia Patty, who's in Raleigh, checking us out. Thank you, ladies. So what I'm going to do, don't cry, Miss Thomas, we're going to play that surprise because Dr. Warren didn't see it. And then we're going to tell everyone happy Thanksgiving. Wherever you are in the world, we know Bayou Classic's not going to happen this year. But I'm going to have some gumbo. I'm going to have some red beans. And I'm going to celebrate life as we know it today. Trust me, it's going to happen. So thank you all for being a part of our program. And we're going to play this little special treat for our school. Everyone, we love you. Thank you for being with us today. Thank you for making us a part of your day. And don't leave, Mr. Warren. We got this special guest for those who join us a little bit later.